Welcome to Go Ballistic from the Scottish Sun. We are hours away from kick-off Scotland against Hungary in Stuttgart, one of the biggest games in Scottish football history. Today I'll be joined by our chief football writer Robert Grieve, the voice of Sunsport Bill Leckie, Derek McGregor, who has been behind enemy lines all week with Hungary, and also Mann, who has followed the Tartan Army all around Germany and is ready for one big party tonight. I'm now joined live from Stuttgart by Robert Grieve, Scottish Sun's chief football writer. Robert, how are you feeling?
Great, David. Great to be here. We're in Stuttgart, all gearing up for the match. Got here yesterday. It was pouring in rain yesterday, but didn't seem to dampen the spirits of the Tartan Army. And this morning you can see it's probably a bit better day weather-wise. In the train station, you maybe see some fans getting off certain trains behind me. Yeah, very much looking forward to it and very positive, David. I think the boys are going to do it.
You've been speaking to Steve and the boys last few days. Do you feel the confidence is there after obviously the real blow in the first game? Much better performance and result against Switzerland. How do you feel they are looking now?
Yeah, very much so. We're talking to Steve Clarke and John McGinn last night, and I very much got the impression from both of them that the players absolutely believe they can do it. Real positivity there from what John McGinn was saying. They seem to recognise that this is an opportunity, probably of a lifetime, to get through, become the first Scotland team to get through the group stages into the knockout stages. And I get the real sense that they're going to try and grasp it. Hungary are a good team. We don't doubt that for a minute. I think the boys will respect Hungary from what they've done. I think they've been slightly unlucky in their game so far from what I've seen. But no, if you talk about positivity and mentality, is what John McGinn was talking about last night. They very much seem to be facing up to that. From what I heard from both of them last night, John McGinn and Steve Clarke, the noises and the vibe was very good.
Well, but where does this game rank in Scottish football history? Is it right up there?
I think it's right up there. Listen, they've never done it before. No team's ever progressed, and we've had some good teams and top players down the years. So if you think back to the past failures, they're there. The teams have failed in the past ultimately. But if you're talking about the opportunity that's there, then it's right up there. It has to be. Scotland need to get through to this knockout round. We're talking about a team that we'll be talking about for a long time, and rightly so. We've got top players, we've got a good team, we've got a good manager. They just have to take that next step. If they don't do it, and we don't want to really look at that, then it's the same old, isn't it? We've been here before. We've the same in the last Euros. We had so much hope to get into the last Euros. The first team to get to the competition for so long, and they didn't turn up. Albeit that Euros was really fake. It just didn't feel like a proper tournament, proper competition. This is different. This feels like a proper Euros. It's you can see all the media activity here, all the excitement back home. It feels proper. So the opportunity's there for these guys. The game's right up there. And if they can just take that next step, I think we'll be talking about this team for a long time.
We hope this isn't the end. We don't think it'll be the end. But it's been an amazing experience for yourself, for the Tartan Army, for the players. I mean, it was a fortnight ago we were talking about shoe platters from John McGinn. The last fortnight we've had cake platters from you and Bill. How have you found it personally to be there?
Well, I've got a few belt notches that I've got out in the last few weeks, giving those cakes that myself and Bill Leckie are having everything put on them. And hopefully my expenses will go through, because let me tell you, I was €26 yesterday for 2 coffees and 2 cakes, and I'm not even kidding. It's been a great experience. You see, I've been fortunate enough to go to tournaments before. I was in Brazil for the World Cup. I was in France for Euros. I was in Poland, Ukraine for Euros. Obviously, when Scotland haven't been there, and every time I've been to a tournament previously and Scotland haven't been there, you just imagine what it would be like. You just imagine the Tartan Army, the fans, how good it would be. As I say, the last Euros didn't count. It was the whole debacle of having them at home, Hampden, and obviously at Wembley. The Wembley game was great, but it didn't feel real. Didn't feel authentic. Whereas this does. We're at a train station. There's the last few minutes. There's some breakfast across the way there, and every 20 minutes there's a train pulls in, and there's another couple of hundred fans that step off the train and they're walking across the courtyard here, get into the town, and there's already thousands upon thousands of fans here. The excitement's building. The fans they must be loving it. You see kids in a restaurant last night as well, and family inside having their dinner, having food, and outside kids kicking a ball around. Young kids, maybe 11 or 12, with the Scotland kit on, kicking a ball around with kind of local kids, you know. Fantastic. These are memories that these guys will have for the rest of their lives. And certainly, yeah, from a press point of view, we've loved it. We've gone on about Garmisch, Party and Kirk and how great it is. It's a fantastic little place. And all the guys were talking about it last night as we were out for dinner. We're just itching to get back there. And hopefully this continues for another week at least.
There are so many permutations flying about. You need to be Einstein to work it all out.
Yeah, well, you're not able to work them out then.
Well, maybe. I did do my maths higher. We just need to go for the win, Robert. We just need to go for the win. Yeah,
I don't listen. This talk of 2 points might get us through. For me, that's not going to happen. And I also don't think that's the mindset the players should have. If we end up with a point, we end up with a point, and we'll see what happens after that. But I mean, there's even a chance, correct me if I'm wrong, that 4 points potentially might not be enough. And that would maybe be the most Scottish thing ever if that's what happens, because I think Steve Clarke's been he's been very open from day one that the target was 4 points. So hopefully, listen, I think if we get 4 points, we will get through. But yeah, it's there's a lot of permutations there. We'll see what happens tonight when we're at the game and how that works out. But I think if Scotland get the win, I think that'll be good enough. And I very much, as I say, I've got for the last game, I was relatively pessimistic in the build up to it, and then when the game started, I get a real sense that the boys were up for it. But this one, I've got I really feel that they'll do it. I just get this really confident belief that the boys are focused enough and good enough, essentially, to go and get this win that we need.
Robert, enjoy your night. Good luck tonight. Enjoy the game.
Thanks, David.
I am now joined by our football editor, Derek McGregor, who is on a train somewhere in Germany, heading up to Frankfurt for Germany against Switzerland tonight. Derek, you've been embedded in the Hungarian camp last few days. Are they feeling confident?
I think they are, David. I think there's a sense that their team is finally going to turn up and get a victory. I know, speaking to a few of the Hungarian media guys, that back home there's a sense of embarrassment that their teams get no points. I think there's also a sense that their captain, Dominic Szoboszlai, is still to properly turn up. As far as I know, talk of an injury is overplayed. I think their understanding is that he will play. But I think there is a confidence, David, that their team is fine.
They obviously suffered two pretty bad defeats in terms of the expectation coming into the tournament for Hungary. They will want to play at least for pride tonight.
Very much so. And, you know, as I said sometimes for the last couple of days, I mean, Hungary played exceptionally well, I thought, against Germany. I thought they were unlucky in key moments. They have the capability of making this a very disappointing night for Scotland. The manager, Marco Rossi, has already said that he will make one or two changes. So, you know, there's a lot, you know, in a way, there's just as much at stake here for Hungary as this for Scotland. So I think we're in for a potential epic tonight, David.
Because they have to go gung-ho, because Hungary can technically still get through if they go and beat Scotland by a considerable amount of goals.
Absolutely. You know, and the goal difference is against them, and they need to win, and I think they need to win pretty well. You know, but there's also a few that I think the players, some of the players have mentioned that to win tonight and don't qualify, it's still an improvement for them, because the last Euros they only managed 2 points. But, you know, this is a nation that came into this tournament in great form, and I think 2 defeats have hurt them badly. So I think they are trying to restore some pride.
To focus on your game as well, Scotland win by a few goals, Switzerland lose by a few goals. Let's be positive. Scotland could finish second in the group. How do you see that game going, Germany against Switzerland?
Now, it's going to be interesting, Dave, because I think Julian Nagelsmann will undoubtedly make a number of changes himself, because Germany have already qualified. And, you know, you'd like to think that Germany have a very good 26-man squad that they can do so and maintain a certain level. But nevertheless, if they're taking out 2 or 3 of their top men to protect them for the knockout stage, that can only benefit Switzerland. And as we know, Switzerland are a good side as well. But, you know, I've seen, Germany have been superb. And I would expect Germany to win still pretty well tonight. So, 2 or 3-0 for Germany would be very welcome.
And just your prediction for the Scotland game, Derek.
I think, as you know, David, we're always at the back of our mind, we're expecting the worst. I mean, I remember at Euro 2020, we went into the Croatia game full of hope, and Croatia gave us a lesson. And at the back of my mind, I'm concerned that there's almost a feeling that we'll get Hungary in the bag. I think we'll do it, but I think it's going to be nerve-wracking.
Derek, you're live from a train. Let's hope you're on the right tracks with your prediction. Good luck tonight.
All the best.
I am now joined by our intrepid reporter, Graham Mann, who's been around Germany for the last fortnight. Graham, you're in Stuttgart. You're in a very calm media centre, but I believe outside there's going to be some shenanigans, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, we had a bit of a late night last night, as you can imagine. The Tartan Army were in full swing in Schlossplatz, which is just out to my left. I'm currently in the media centre. It's a beautiful, almost regal building that we're in. Great location. You can see behind me, this is where they would hold any press conferences if there's a need to do so. But outside, it's quite quiet this morning, given that most of the fans were up all night, singing and dancing and taking advantage of the local bevy. So it's quite quiet this morning, but we're seeing Scotland fans starting to emerge, as well as Hungarian fans and Germany fans. It's going to be an incredible day today. I've no doubt about that.
Watching the footage and the pictures and reading your words coming back, it just feels as if a carnival's expected today in Stuttgart. Yeah, the atmosphere has been absolutely brilliant, and that we've seen very little sign of trouble at all. Everyone's in great spirits. There were a couple of incidents last night involving Turkey fans after the Portugal game, but it wasn't too serious. But a few of them got taken away in vans, and we could hear there was blue lights and a few sirens going around, but it never escalated beyond little isolated incidents, which I think is almost impossible to prevent given the numbers of people who are here. But the atmosphere has been absolutely brilliant. There's mums and dads around, there's kids around, and there's no sense of any danger at all. And that's in large part down to the atmosphere, and also the Tartan Army, who've set an absolutely brilliant tone from the minute that they arrived in Germany. That's what I was just about to say, because there's been people queuing up, authorities, governing bodies queuing up to really praise the Scotland fans for everything they've brought to the tournament so far.
Yeah, that's right. Everywhere you go, you hear people complimenting the Tartan Army, and there's laughter wherever the Tartan Army are. You can hear people laughing, and we all know the songs by now. These earworms that you go to bed at night with them still rattling around your head, But there has obviously been concerns raised about the organisation of the fan zones, because we know that the main fan zone, which can accommodate 30,000 people, is going to be showing the Germany game, and that means that the Scotland fans are going to be in another fan zone, potentially, and there's a couple of other smaller ones which amount to a capacity of around 25,000. We know that there are so many more than that here. So you take away the fans that go to the game, and then you have the fans that get into the fan zones, but there's the potential that some fans might not be able to settle and get down well ahead of kickoff, because a lot of the bars and cafes, as you would expect, are going to be showing the Germany game as well. So there's a little bit of anxiety about that, and we'll be paying a close attention to that as the day unfolds closer to kickoff.
What are the numbers expected in terms of Scotland fans tonight in Stuttgart?
Well, you'll hear various numbers. The authorities, they have not said the figure 100,000. I think they have mentioned a figure less than that. But when you speak to people, I guess it's to a degree it's guesswork, isn't it? But there is talk of around 100,000, which obviously would be huge. And if that's the case, then there will be fans who won't be able to see the game. And if you add in the inevitable alcohol to that, then you're pretty much almost certain that there's going to be some people left disappointed. And how they react to that, again, we just don't know.
In terms of the game, do you feel the Tartan Army are confident they're going to witness history? tonight?
Yes. Everyone you speak to, 3-0, 3-1, 2-1. But as we know, people who are a little bit more experienced when it comes to watching Scotland, that we've been there before. The one that some people have mentioned was the Morocco game, when there was great enthusiasm going into that one, and we got walloped 3-0. So there are the older Tartan Army fans who are maybe a little bit more wary, but the young ones in particular, they're absolutely certain that there's a Scotland victory on the horizon. So, and hopefully they're right.
But we're talking to a young one now. Do you predict a Scotland victory?
No, I'm a seasoned veteran. I've suffered too much. So I'm taking a very cautious approach to it. Obviously, I'm keeping my fingers crossed like everyone else. And it is the dream is to get through. And if we do, the result against Germany, the 5-1 defeat, that will be quickly forgotten. And it will just be a massive party. And I know that everyone we speak to in Germany, they're cheering Scotland on. So you've got this issue with the game not being shown in the main fan zone. But every German that we speak to wants Scotland to go through so that they can continue to bring that colour and passion to this amazing tournament.
Well, great. Let's hope there is a party tonight and you'll be right in the middle of it. Good luck.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Certainly
yourself.
will. Cheers, David. Thank you.
I'm also joined by Bill Leckie, the voice of Sunsport from Stuttgart. Bill, I asked Robert this question. I'll do the same with yourself. Where does this rank in terms of big Scotland games?
It's huge. I mean, to be, even from our point of view, to be one of the first Scottish journalists to write about Scotland qualifying for the knockout stages of a tournament would be such a great thing in your career. And for the players, I can't imagine what it would be like if they were one of the ones that got us through. It would just be brilliant. Just be brilliant. We're just, as Robert have told you, we're just right next to the team hotel here. It must be a long, long day for them waiting for this game to start. But what an opportunity they have tonight.
John McGinn, you spoke to him last night. He was full of lines as always. There's this crazy theory that John McGinn could maybe be left out tonight. That's not going to happen, is it?
No, he's unleave-outable. I think he showed against Switzerland the other night that even when he's not at his best, even when he's not scoring goals, he works and he wins his free kicks and he brings us up the park, and he's just such an influence. He is a great teammate for other guys to have, and I don't care who scores the goal tonight, same as he doesn't, but I would absolutely love it if John was the guy that put us through.
Kieran Tierney's out. It means someone's going to come in. Do you see a change of system? Because obviously the system has been built on Kieran Tierney and Andy Robertson.
I don't think there will be. I would quite like to see it. I'd quite like to see us go to a 4 so we could accommodate an extra guy going forward. I do think the whole principle of this back five was to let Tierney and Robertson sort of overlap each other, if you see what I mean. So Tierney became an extra fullback, and it was also set up to stop us losing goals, and it hasn't worked in the last little while. So I'd be tempted to do a 4. I don't think Steve Clarke will do a 4 because I'm not a coach; he's a coach. But yeah, I think he'll stick with the system. I think he'll make a couple of changes. I do think a couple of players were rested from training yesterday, and I think he wanted to look at other options. I would certainly like to see James Forrest get a chance because I think we need somebody who can carry the ball tonight, and he's one of the few we have that can really do that.
Are you feeling confident, Bill? Are you feeling optimistic about tonight?
I don't like feeling optimistic about Scotland because I tend to get it wrong. I'm feeling very nervous. I'm feeling full of anticipation. I would love to see us do what we did against Switzerland, get on the front foot, get ourselves ahead. One thing we'd never seem to do is get 2-0 up in big games. See if we could be 2-0 up tonight, after an hour or so, then you can start to think, yeah, we're getting there. But let's not get greedy. Let's get 1 up and then see where we go.
And if you could give a message to the players on behalf of the Tartan Army, what would you be saying to them?
Go and do it. Go and grasp it. It's not about anything else. It's not about history. It's not about failures in the past. It's not about anything apart from what you want to get out of this tonight. So just trust yourself, trust the guy next to you, and don't leave anything. Don't bring anything back in when you leave it all out there, and just have the time of your life.
15 words, Bill. Thanks a lot for that. Good luck tonight. Enjoy the game.
Cheers, pal. All the best.
Thanks for watching and listening. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully to reflect on a momentous night for Scottish football. All that's left to say is good luck to Steve Clarke and the Scotland players tonight.